Before the word multiverse was ever spoken, before science tried to imagine it, before fiction tried to own it, it already existed. Not as theory, not as speculation, but as memory. Indian mythology never asked, "Does the multiverse exist?" It asked something far more unsettling. What if it always did, and you were never alone in your own life? We believe time moves forward, one moment to the next, one choice replacing another. But what if time does not move? What if it branches? What if every decision you make does not erase the other possibilities, but abandons them? Somewhere else, you chose differently, and that world continued without you. This is not modern imagination. This is ancient cosmology. And the first crack in reality was not discovered by a scientist. It was discovered by a monkey god. The war had ended. Lanka burned in silence. The Vanar army rested, bodies broken, purpose fulfilled. Victory had arrived. And yet, Rama stood apart, unmoving, watchful. Not over the battlefield, but over time itself. His fingers turned the golden ring, light, ordinary, and then, deliberately, he let it fall, not dropped, released. The ring slipped from his hand and vanished downward into a crack, as if the earth itself had been waiting. Hanuman saw it. In that instant, devotion moved faster than thought. His form collapsed inward, smaller, smaller still, until he was no larger than intention. And he followed. Down through soil that remembered creation, down through stone that had once been molten, down through layers where forgotten worlds slept. Each descent whispered histories, each depth breathed loss and rebirth. Light thinned, sound surrendered, silence guided him. Hanuman emerged into Patala, a realm untouched by the sun, yet blazing with its own truths. Crystal rivers cut through darkness. Molten fire flowed beside them, patient and alive. Nagas moved through the air like living constellations, their scales catching colors no sky above had ever known. And from the depths rose Vasuki, vast, coiled around mountains like time around memory, eyes glowing, ancient, measuring.
"Who enters my realm?"
The serpent spoke. Hanuman folded himself in reverence.
"I am Hanuman. My lord is Rama. I have come for what has fallen. Many descend for power, many for wealth. But this object you seek, it carries the weight of dharma. It binds worlds together. Do you understand what you are retrieving?" "It is not mine to understand. It is mine to return."
Something shifted. Vasuki moved aside. A path revealed itself, lit by gems embedded in stone. Hanuman walked on, until he reached the chamber. There the ring hovered, suspended above crystal, and then he saw it. Not the ring, the rings, endless, identical, covering the vastness like fallen stars, each bearing the same mark, each once worn by a Rama. The realization struck without sound. Every Ramayana had already played out. Every Ramayana was unfolding now. Every Ramayana would play again. Not once, not twice, endlessly. Rama's voice rose within him, calm and immeasurable.
"Every choice, Hanuman. Every word spoken in devotion. echoes across the Anantata Koti Brahmanda. Countless worlds, countless lives, all moving through the same eternal design. Carry this thread with care.
Hanuman reached out. He lifted his ring, and within its glow, he glimpsed infinity. Worlds branching, lives diverging, versions of himself serving, failing, rising again. Hanuman bowed.
I will carry this burden. I will serve this truth.
Behind him, Vasuki receded into shadow, uncommenting, unending. Hanuman rose, the ring secure in his grasp. He would return to the surface, but the knowledge would not leave him. That devotion is not proven because a story is singular. It is proven because one chooses to live it even when infinite others exist. Not everyone who glimpses other worlds returns with understanding. Some return with loss. King Kakbhushundi ruled a prosperous land. His city was alive with sound. His people thrived. His daughter Revati was the jewel of his life. When the time came to find her a worthy husband, Kakbhushundi did not look among men. He looked beyond them. He traveled to Brahma himself, to Brahmaloka, the realm where time does not walk as it does below. There, Brahma was listening to music, a single celestial performance. Kakbhushundi waited. Only a moment passed, or so it seemed. When the music ended, Kakbhushundi spoke. Brahma listened, and then smiled.
You have waited too long. While you stood here, ages passed on earth.
Kakbhushundi did not understand at first. Brahma continued.
Your city is gone. Your people are dust. The men you once considered suitors have lived, died, and been forgotten.
Silence fell. Not the silence of shock, the silence of erasure. Kakbhushundi returned to earth, but earth did not recognize him. Kusasthali was no more. No walls, no streets, no voices calling his name. Only ruins. Revati stood beside him, unchanged, a woman from a world that no longer existed. She had not traveled far. She had traveled wrong. Across layers of time, across versions of reality. This is the cruelty of the multiverse. Not destruction, displacement. To live after everything you loved has already finished living. Brahma showed mercy. He guided Revati to a new time, a new world, a new destiny. But Kakbhushundi remained what he had become. A king without a kingdom. A father who returned after history had closed its doors. And the multiverse remained silent. It does not apologize. It only continues. Some souls are not punished by loss. They are punished by memory. The crow sage Kakbhushundi did not live once. He lived again and again and again. He watched creation rise like breath and fall like sleep. He saw worlds form, flourish, decay. Saw mountains erode into oceans. Saw oceans retreat into dust. He saw Ramayanas unfold. Not one, many. In some worlds, Rama reached Lanka. In some, the war ended early. In some, dharma stumbled. In others, it arrived too perfectly and broke the balance. Kakbhushundi did not interfere, because when you have seen too much, intervention becomes arrogance. To change one world is to distort 1,000 others. So he watched, cycle after cycle, kalpa after kalpa, not with despair, with clarity. He understood what most never do. that existence is not linear, it is layered, that history does not repeat, it branches. And that truth is not comforting, it is heavy. When dissolution finally arrived, even memory was tested. The universe folded in on itself. Stars dimmed, time unraveled, sound vanished. Only one being remained, the child sage Markandeya. He floated alone on a single leaf. No sky above, no earth below. Then a child appeared, dark as the void, gentle as sleep, Vishnu. The child inhaled, and Markandeya was drawn inward. Inside Vishnu, he saw it. Not one universe, but countless. Worlds forming as others died. Realities overlapping. Time looping, fracturing, continuing. Creation was not sacred because it was unique. It was sacred because it was temporary. Markandeya emerged changed. Not enlightened, humbled. The multiverse does not exist to amaze. It exists to remind that every world you touch is fragile, that every choice echoes beyond your sight, and that some souls are chosen not to act, but to remember what action costs. Even creators can misunderstand creation. Once, Brahma looked upon the universe he had shaped and felt pride. He had measured the stars, named the elements, set time into motion, and yet something unsettled him. He turned to Vishnu, who walked among mortals, content in simplicity.
Why do you move so humbly when you are beyond all measure?
Vishnu smiled, and without a word, he showed Brahma the truth. Brahma saw himself, not once, but countless times. Each Brahma ruling a different universe. Each convinced he was singular, each unaware of the others. Some universes were vast, some small, some young, some already collapsing. Each Brahma thought his creation complete. Each was only one among infinite. Brahma bowed, not in fear, in understanding. In a reality of endless worlds, greatness is not domination. It is restraint. Knowledge is not control. It is responsibility. Brahma returned changed. The multiverse had not diminished him. It had placed him correctly. If countless worlds exist, why should this one matter? Because this is the one you inhabit. Somewhere, you made different choices. Somewhere else, you became someone else. But here, now, you are shaping a living world. The multiverse does not erase meaning. It sharpens it. Indian mythology never invented the multiverse. It remembered it. And then it asked a question that science still avoids. In a cosmos of infinite possibilities, who will you choose to be?